Really could use a big hose clamp for this. Hey babe, you got one of the big hose clamps?
I don't think so. I can go try to find something though. Plus, for all you woodhounds out there watching, be prepared to cringe. Welcome back to Up to Something Outdoors. Babe, you remember how yesterday when we were in the pool, you wanted to put your umbrella up, but it was falling down?
Yeah.
And you said you needed a big hose clamp.
Yep.
Okay. I couldn't find a hose clamp. So, I bought a boat.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me.
Because this has got a V8 engine in it. Okay, Mercruiser V8 engines have got 2 exhaust manifolds, each one going down to the exhaust pipes. This one should have 8 hose clamps the size I need. I know, most folks would just go out to Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever to get the hose clamps that they need, but instead, I got a boat for it. Should we go for a cruise?
It's pretty trashed, although I don't think I'll go through the floor on this one.
Well, that's because I already did.
Yeah.
When I was looking at it, I already pushed the floor down. But look how good this is. Even free composting material.
Yeah?
It's awesome. But I did find something cool in here when I was looking at it earlier. A part of a fishing rod. With a reel that's jammed up. A couple spare tires. And even a whole bunch of returnable bottles.
Yeah? About 80 cents?
Yeah, maybe even $1 worth.
Yeah?
Let's see what we got under the power barn. Which is rotting away.
Nope, that one's stuck too.
Thing's falling apart. But we got a Mercruiser 260.
I see so many hose clamps.
Yeah, we even have some of the big ones we need though. Let's double check. Yes, this is a 350 CID engine. So that is the... It is indeed the 350 CID cubic inch displacement, which matches the 260 on the manifold covers. This one, unusually, has 9/16 lag bolts holding it in place. Most of the time they're 5/8. It's gonna be a good thing I brought the extra one out. So there's 2 lags on this side, 2 on the other side to get out. Alright, so these are the ones that we're talking about needing for the pool. There's 4 on that side, 4 on that side. So it should be pretty good.
All 4, you think?
Yeah, we're going to take them all off because we need them.
That's true. You probably need them again too.
If not for this project, for another project. Alright, so there's 2 3/4 inch bolts that go straight down here that lock the engine into the transom assembly. There's lots of ways to get at them. I can try to fiddle my way in there and get it, but basically, this is in the way. I could get a Sawzall out. A circular saw would work. Everything dulls up quick, but why not have a little fun in the process? Plus, for all you woodhounds out there watching, be prepared to cringe. This blade, this chain, she's gonna be dull. I've yet to find another tool that's as quick or as easy as that. Yes, it dulls the crap out of your chain anytime you're dealing with fiberglass does, but it does the same thing whether it's a Sawzall blade, a circular saw blade. That chain was 19 bucks. That's a big saw. She'll power through this for years. Now, I can reach it better. Basically, it's that one right there, and there's a corresponding one buried right underneath here. Down. Sometimes you can do it by hand. Sometimes you need a cheetah bar. This one's not terrible. We can see what the other one is. I already got the control cables disconnected. There's going to be 1 or 2 hoses in there we're going to have to disconnect. And then we should be ready to yank it out. That's what the bolt looks like. Super fine threads. That's why when it feels like you're done, you should be done spinning it, you're not. It's basically sitting like this, locking her in. You go and you go and you go and you go and you go. Now to the next one.
Hey, look, it must have been hanging on since we got the boat.
Are you telling me you didn't put that there?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's probably been hung on the whole time.
Maybe a fishy put it there.
Watch out, he's got the chainsaw.
So, here, bottom bouncer too. So this boat, since it doesn't have the gas tank back there, I started looking as to where the fill was. Where the fill port is will tell you a lot. It's right here. So I'm going to take a guess and say it's probably right in here. I can't access it from any way inside the boat. I can flip this up, but I still can't get into right in there. So, out comes the fun tool again. Time to get dirty. Now, if you're at home thinking about doing this kind of thing yourself, no, you don't need a chainsaw. You can do it other ways. But it's fun.
If you did anything less, I would be surprised.
All right, it's actually transverse tank right up here. So I want to do a little more cutting. So this one's held in by these two straps. One screw there, one screw there. Take them out. So the screws didn't want to come out. They were just stripping. So I just cut it instead. Why not? Now we're just going to disconnect the fill line. The fill line that gave us the clue as to where it was. Now we're just going to cut the other. That's the line going back to the tank, or not from, excuse me, to the engine from the tank. And this should be the vent line. It's a heavier piece of rubber. And now, if we're in luck, it won't be so heavy that I can't just lift it out.
Ooh, it's a cube one too.
She's empty. But yeah, cube tanks sell for a bit more, so that should go for a few bucks. Next, we're going to take the outdrive off, spin both of the 9/16 nuts off. You're going to drift the pin one way or the other so that you can get crowbar onto this. Take a pair of vice grips, get the other side locked down so it doesn't slide back the direction you're trying to pry the hydraulic cylinder off on. Pop that off. Now reverse the process. Put the vice grips back on. You're gonna need it nice and tight. And then you can pop the other one off, like that. This one's got savers on it, I think they're called. I'm not sure exactly what the term is, but basically keep the outdrive up without having to just use hydraulic pressure, kind of a hydraulic saver, I guess. Those will be useful. And I always like keeping the big fender washers because I don't know about you, but I can always find a use for them. All right, next we're going to take the 6 nuts off that hold the outdrive on. These are all 5/8. Of course, you can do it by hand if you want, or you can use an impact, but they're not normally on stupid tight. Once you get them off, I find it easier to always pull these washers off because they tend to get stuck. When you're trying to wiggle the drive off, it tends to pinch things. So I like to just take them off to start off with. Now on all Merc Cruisers, they have the little indentation right here that you can put a screwdriver in to get the outdrive started to get coming off. They have one on each side. It's not big, but it's big enough to do what we need it to generally. So now that I got it started, let's see if I can wiggle it off. A lot of times you can, and that helps, but if you can't, then out comes the crowbar. And you pop it off. Just like that. It's actually not nearly as rusty as I was thinking it was going to be, because that was stuck in there, but you can also see right in here, though, there's tons of corrosion. So, yeah, this drive probably has not been off in a long time. So this time I put it a little bit farther back on the forks. I'm still working on coming up with a good idea that's going to be practical and inexpensive to hook the chain up to the front of the fork without it sliding back. I got some ideas, just haven't gotten to them yet. Let's give it a pull. There we go. Hold on a second. Let me make sure there's nothing else attached. There's generally always a hose or something that you can't access, like this one. So we have it up in the air. Let's check for cracks.
There's one right there.
Oh yeah, nice big one. Look at this manifold. This manifold's almost cracked all the way through. I don't know that I have ever seen a manifold that bad.
So it's got a matching pair, the manifold and the block.
You're right.
That's crazy.
Same thing from there all the way down. It spiders both ways coming down here.
Oh, that's a big one.
It's cracked there as well. And the block is cracked. I'm wondering if anyone even winterized this at all.
Ever in its life?
Well, definitely last season. Sometimes if you winterize it poorly, you get a crack, but not that bad. I bet someone never even winterized it at all. No. How sad. What would have been a $400 or $500 engine's now worth $50. That's good. You're learning how to drive the tractor even better, baby. Girl, drop her down. Slowly push it forward. Yeah, that works. Keep going. Yep, keep going all the way. There we go. You're starting to get really good at that. The last thing we're going to do before we take this to the landfill is take this off and the stainless steel bow rail. They're not worth a ton of money, but combined it's about 15, 20 bucks worth of scrap metal. I personally don't like throwing scrap metal away if I can help it. I would rather keep it out of the landfill and recycle it. With that, I'm probably also going to just take this off and a couple of the other little scrap pieces of aluminum off. Just because. It's not really worth a whole lot of money. Like these are, I sell them for about 10 bucks, but I'd rather keep stuff out of the landfill if I can. So there's 6 or 8 bolts. There's 2 there, 2 here, and then we got to pull this off as well. We're going to pull those off, disconnect the steering arm. That'll allow us to get both this inner aluminum and that outer piece off. These are all 5/8 inch bolts except the very 2 on the bottom. Once we get the pipes off, these pipes, the 2 on the very bottom are 3/4. Everything else is just 5/8. Super simple. Just spin them off. One less piece going to the landfill. I was looking at this too. This one is actually just screwed in. It's not through bolted. So why not take it off too? Although those top screws are going to be really challenging to get at. Took all the other ones off and then lifted it up a little bit because I got that extra one right at the top there. It's very difficult to get at. There we go. Don't know if that'll sell, but I might get 10 bucks off that. All right, now on to the rest of it. And there it is. Now, off to the landfill.